boil some piss.
So, yeah. Oh, you're going to boil some piss, are you, Kenny? That's an intro. Look at that.
No, what I'm trying to say, it's normally your show intro,
That's
but
me demonetized inside 10 seconds.
sorry, guys.
I'm joking. Go on, mate.
No, what I was trying to say is that I've got a confession to make, and I want the audience to be a bit gentle with me because I kind of agree with one of Southgate's non-selections for Monday.
Kenny, sorry, one second, mate. One second, mate. I think you've got me going on your phone or something. I can hear you twice.
Hey, can you hear me there?
Oh, that's better. No, go on. Yeah, that's miles better.
Yeah, I've got a confession to make. You and Jez are not going to be very happy with me, and I don't think the audience is going to be very happy. And that's why I said in the background that it's probably going to cause a havoc because I kind of agree with one of Southgate's non-substitutions, only from a tactical basis and only from the fact the way the game was going and how the Americans were playing. But we'll leave that to the show. But no one's going to agree with what I've got to say. But I'm not a Southgate fan. But on this occasion, I get why he's doing it, and I kind of might have to defend him.
And he's Southgate in. There's a shock for you.
No, I'm not Southgate in. I'm Southgate out all the time. But in terms of like the footballing reasons, there's a footballing reasons why I kind of agreed with his non-substitution of a certain player. Okay. I'm sorry, non-introduction of the certain player that everyone wanted to come on.
This is going to get interesting. Fireworks already.
Yeah.
Jez, how are you, mate?
Oh, very good, mate. Very good. Yeah. Disappointed with because I've obviously got a foot in two camps at this World Cup. Tomorrow night is going to be the make or break for me, and I think it's only going to go one way. I can't see Wales beating England, and I'm really annoyed. Actually, I bought a bloody Wales football shirt, and thank you, Royal Mail, for being on strike. Because I haven't fully received it. So
you might as well send it back now.
Yeah, I might as well burn it when it turns up, if it turns up at all. So I'm a bit fed up with that. No, seriously. I think I was very disappointed the other night with the Wales-Iran game. I think Wales were absolute pony. I'm sorry to have to say it, but they relied far too much on Bale and Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
If Bale and Ramsey don't turn up, then you might as well not bother turning up at all. Very sad. They've made it all the way to the World Cup, first World Cup I've ever been lucky to see. I never ever thought I'd see Wales in a World Cup. I'll be honest with you, truthfully. So after tomorrow night, it'll be England all the way. I'm 50-50, stat padding as it is, but But onwards, we move onwards. There we go.
Yeah, they've not been great, Wales, but
no.
They're an Asian team, man. And listen, for the size of the country, they ain't done too bad to get there, have they? Let's be honest.
No.
Yeah, I think only Qatar, you said last week, was the smaller country rather than them. They're the second smallest. So for them to even be there, and Qatar qualified because they're hosts. So, quite an achievement to get there. But yeah, without Bale doing anything and without Ramsey doing anything, you ain't got nothing, mate.
No.
But let's get on to England, Kenny. A boring 0-0 draw the other night. I think he wanted a draw. He played for a draw. I went in agreement with the substitutions. We need a goal. We needed a goal, should I say. And Jordan Henderson's coming on. That baffled me. Callum Wilson sat on the bench. Phil Foden's not had a single minute in 2 games. And he's actually won a World Cup, believe it or not, for England's youth level. So, yeah, a bit baffling. But I do think we'll beat Wales. And I do think we'll get out of the group. But I've been so disappointed with England. The first game, it was like, okay, cool. Play to our strengths, attack. And then I thought, right, let's go and batter America. I predicted 5-0 as well, by the way. It's the last time I predicted 5-0 for England. But what did you make of it the other night, mate?
Well, for me, I said after because I was actually watching it in Islington Tennis Centre, and I said after the game that the real England has stood up. I think what's happened is that, we got lured into a full sense of security because of the way we attacked and the way the space Iran left last Monday. And I think what's happened is that we didn't see the real England and we clearly didn't see the real Iran. But what we saw on Friday was the real England. You know, the England that we saw, you know, since, you know, during the League of Nations, where they got battered home and away by Hungary. Well, he got battered, got taken apart by Italy, and the team that, you know, struggled against the Germans. This is the England side, and I've always said, without someone in midfield who can keep possession ticking over, a genuine midfield dynamo, when England are not going to do much against better teams, and even against teams with high energy. The United States were everything England weren't. United States actually played how England used to play a few, maybe 20 years ago. High energy, getting amongst you, and using their athleticism to batter England. And the United States were easily a better side. Easily, you know, they can defensively, they look solid. On the ball, they're brilliant. They were making runs to the extent that England didn't even have I think England's kind of front three, Sterling and Saka, struggled to the extent that they were non-effective in attacking areas because United States kept on bombing on. And I thought Tyler Adams was easily the best player on that pitch for me. Tyler Adams, best player on the pitch. But in terms of like the Phil Foden situation, because I know that's what everyone's alluding to. Do you want to be honest? I agreed with him not coming on because the simple reason is that it wasn't that type of game with him. Because the way the United States were playing, the way England were spending a lot of time off the ball, where they were basically chasing players. I can tell you from what I've seen in football over the last 40 or 50 years, you get a player like Foden on, he ain't going to touch the ball. He's going to do more running back than he is going to be in attacking areas. And when he gets the ball, they're going to be in his face. It would have been ineffective. What England needed, because of the way the game was going, was someone with high energy to basically stop the runs for the United States and protect the defence. So in that respect, I can see why Foden wasn't brought on, but I'm angry more with the fact that England started well, but again, the United States allowed England to come on them, and then when they realised that England, that you know, that possession-wise, that they can get the possession, they put their foot in, and then they dominate the game, and I think that's what I was more angry about because Southgate never learns. He never learns. I mean, you've got to get someone in that midfield who can retain possession because that's all that was needed. Because I'll tell you one thing, against better sides, they're going to be playing like that's going to be how England are going to play. Only they're going to concede goals. It says a lot that the best players on the field were the defenders against USA, Maguire, Shaw, and Stones. You know, let's not. You may look at this World Cup and say, yeah, it's anyone's World Cup, but England are not one of those sides who are going to, I think, going to capitalise because everything's wrong with the team selections, the tactics, everything. And, you know, that's how I saw the game. I felt Phil Foden, but I think if he went on, he would have struggled. I think Mason Mount just kept on, not for his footballing ability, but the fact that he's got legs. But the thing is, you want Mason Mount in attacking areas, and he one shot on goal. Apart from that, he was next to nothing. I think the theme that a lot of non-Chelsea fans and probably England fans are going to say, and I think it's probably going to be a catchphrase at this moment, what does Mason Mount do? What is it about Mason Mount? What's the point of Mason Mount? I think that's going to be the theme that's going to be maybe on the terraces after the World Cup of England Flounder. It'll be a Mason Mount song in a derogatory manner.
Yeah, mate, 100%. I thought we were shocking. Like, I can't lie. And like you said, the best players on the pitch were defenders. Harry Maguire, I thought, was man of the match for us. You know, that kind of sums it all up. Unbelievable. But yeah, Tyler Adams, he's a player, man. He looks all right, doesn't he? And again, he's in the game against us, he was easily the best player on the pitch overall. Yeah, for both teams. I don't know how Pulisic got man of the match. A player we're linked to, by the way. We could maybe talk about that in a bit. But Jez, are you scared of England being a Welshman?
Half Welsh, half. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Let's get it right. Wales they're not good enough. They haven't got the depth to beat England, and good luck, England. That's what I'll say. But it'd be disappointing, but it is what it is. I think England, the game against the USA. I mean, you know, I saw a stat the other day, or so I can't. I think it was in the group chat or something. England have never beaten the United States in the World Cup. Oh, there you go. But that quite shocks me, to be honest. I mean, the USA, to me, I thought they looked half decent. Our goalkeeper looked decent. I thought he done well, and I think England will progress through. I think they'll get through to the next round, definitely. What happens after that when they're up against the big boys? Interesting. I'd personally, you know, I'm no great novice. I've got not great knowledge of the World Cup. I won't lie about that. This is the most of the World Cup I've ever watched since Italia '90. I've missed 2 games. I've only missed 2 games. That's purely and simply the fact that, you know, I've got time in my hands. I've retired, so I can sit here all day and watch games. You know, I watched the game earlier, the 3-3 game. What a game of football that was. Amazing. Thomas Partey's having a good World Cup. Yeah, I mean, he's doing well. And I'm actually really enjoying it, to be fair. When Wales get knocked out tomorrow night and England progress, I'll be pushing for England, of course. And but I said at the start, right at the start of this World Cup, my team, my favourite to win is France. Unfortunately, my player I predicted to be the Golden Boot winner, Neymar, I think his World Cup's over. Looks like he's done. Bad injury on his ankle the other night, which is a great shame. And I am surprised at some of the results. Seriously, there's been some shocking results from, I mean, like Argentina. Wow, when they lost. Deary me. You know, Germany. Wow. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm loving this World Cup because it's so bizarre. It's so off key. I mean, I've been putting predictions out there, and I've got them so wrong. Really. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely, really enjoying this. And I said to you, I think the last podcast us 3 did before the World Cup started. Now I'll be watching this. I'm not interested. And yet I'm sat here glued to it. I'm saying glued to it, you know. I'll be watching the next game at when that kicks off. I think 4 o'clock is it?
Yes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
against Switzerland, so we'll have a few of our players out there. A few of our boys will be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it. I think it's great. It's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's Smokey Settings there says there. Thomas Partey was unbelievable today. I mean, it just shows what a quality player he is. But it is what it is. I'll be very disappointed tomorrow night because I think I'm doing a watch along for the game with Gracie May, and obviously she's 100% there. England. I'm going to be flip-flopping. I'll be a flip-flop tomorrow night. That's for sure. But
well, either way, you can't lose, can you?
No. But my heart, only simply because I've never seen him at the World Cup ever before. Never thought I would. I will be supporting Wales. But there we are. That's how it is. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really loving it.
Yeah, I've not watched hardly any of the games. I can't lie. I've literally watched four 90 minutes. Lies, 5 90 minutes. Now, I watched the Spain-Germany last night. That was the 5th game. I've watched the full game. I've seen highlight. In fact, no, actually, it is 4 because I didn't really watch the first England game. Yeah, 4 90 minutes. But I've seen the goals. Obviously, the highlights reels do the rounds. And that goal today from Cameroon where he chipped the goalkeeper, just scooped out. What a finish, man. That was actually class. And I see, just before I come on here, I see the goal for South Korea, the second one. What a header. Like, both of them headers were good, to be fair. There's been some really good goals in the competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, today, 3-3 and then a 3-2. So Brazil and Switzerland have got a lot to live up to because the goals have been flying in today. I do think Brazil will get out of that group. I think they'll beat Switzerland today, but you just never know, do you? And it's just that's the thing. Like when you predict these teams, on paper, Brazil should batter them, but we've seen Morocco yesterday take Belgium apart. You know, who would have predicted that? I think everyone would have looked at Belgium and said, yeah, they're going to win. They'll go through. But Morocco, they're looking like they could get out the group now. So same with some of the other African teams as well. Cameroon, still got a chance. Yeah, Ghana has still got a chance. So yeah, it's been decent, man. It's been decent from what I've seen from the highlight reels. Not actually sitting and watching and putting hours and hours of my time into it, but yeah, it has been good. One thing I've noticed, right, and I know this probably happens at every World Cup, but I think more so at this one, is the amount of fans that are mixed in the same stands. Like when South Korea, when I see the second goal going, it pans to the crowd, and there was a load of Ghanaians in the crowd with the South Koreans. And it's like, you just wouldn't do that in the Premier League, would you? I just wouldn't be allowed. Like, can you imagine the carnage? Arsenal and Tottenham sat together, or Arsenal and Chelsea or something sat together. It'd be absolutely mad. But yeah, I do normally like World Cups, but yeah, this one I'll just no. For now, I'll give it a swerve until it gets a bit more interesting in the semis or the quarters or something. But I don't think England are going to go much further. To be fair, I think we'll get out of the group, but again, I don't know. I don't think we should get to a semi-final based on that side of the draw, but you never know. Do you fancy us against Ecuador or Holland? Because I don't. Like, Gareth Southgate's proven enough over the years that he ain't the man. He ain't good enough. So yeah, it's going to
be. There's a certain player in Ecuador who I think is a striker, midfield striker. He looks absolute class, and I tell you what. If Arsenal want to get a decent striker, mate, I reckon you could get him, and I don't think he'd be that expensive. I can't think of his name.
Valencia.
Yeah,
he used to play for Everton, I think.
He looked class to me, mate. Seriously, if we need a backup striker for Jesus, I'll put my money in for him. That's for sure.
There is only one problem with that, Jez. He is about 34 years old.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You say that. Yeah. Even if we had him on for 2 years. Yeah. Right. Bring him in as a backup striker for Jesus. And I'm saying this, right, because we are top of the league, 5 points clear in January. Bring him in, help us win the league. And then end of story. Game over. Doesn't matter, does it?
Well, we need a striker. We're actually linked to a striker, Marcus Thuram. We're linked to him. I'm going to be dropping a video on that tomorrow. But yeah, who for you, Kenny, has stood out in this tournament? Not team-wise, but player-wise. Like, give us a few players that you thought, because I know you've probably watched most of the games as well. Who have you been impressed by?
I'm impressed by. You know what? One thing about I've been impressed by. And it's been great for football. The gap between the alleged top teams, top countries, and alleged developing countries is so small now, to the extent that by the time we get to the World Cup in 4 years' time, they'll be on equal footing. I've seen Belgium get toyed with by Morocco, and it was a comfortable victory. We've just seen Ghana. We saw Tunisia, how they are playing. We saw Saudi Arabia. There are no minnows in this World Cup, with the exception of Qatar. You know what I mean? Anyone can beat anyone. We saw Japan beat Germany, but in terms of a player, that no player kind of really stood out. It's been really teams that stood out. The kind of football, like Morocco, really impressed me. You know, Ziyech for Morocco against Ziyech for Chelsea. It's night and day. Yesterday he was magnificent.
Like Harry Maguire for United in England.
I know. It was like magnificent. The way he retained possession, the way he looked like Kevin. He looked and played like Kevin De Bruyne. And that's the other situation. I think what we've learned is that Belgium and Asia's side, teams who don't pay them respect, teams that have a go at them, and teams that have athleticism will beat them and beat them comfortably. You know what I mean? They're clearly taking a few players that are not fit, and it showed. You know, Hazard doesn't look fit. De Bruyne don't look fit. I'll tell you one thing: the excuses are going to be paramount by this time next month. It's going to be The reason why certain players and certain teams struggled because we had a congested season. We had to play all those games before November, get it all, and the players were tired. That's the excuse you're going to get. But in terms of like, you know, how things are going to go, the only player for me that's impressed is Mbappe. Mbappe is basically saying to everyone who watches football, every journalist, every football fan, every opposition, get out of the way. It's my time. Move out of the way. Messi, who are you? Ronaldo, who are you? It's like he's basically sticking out his chest and said, I was only 19 when I won a World Cup when I was a boy, but now I'm a man. I'm going to take this World Cup by the scruff of the neck. And that's exactly what he's doing. He, you know, when you talk about best players in the world, it's up to him if he wants to be the best player in the world. And the same with Haaland. But in terms of natural ability, it's day and night. Haaland's a great finisher and not a complete centre forward. But in terms of all-round play, it's him. But you know what? If it's up to him what he wants to do, because he can easily score the amount of goals as Messi and Ronaldo if he wants to, if he loves the game as much as those two, and he's single-minded. If he's single-minded, not just in this World Cup, but throughout his career, we're talking levels of Messi and Ronaldo. That's how good this guy is. He clearly is the star so far this World Cup. It's not even a dispute. It's indisputable.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Jez?
What, best player?
Yeah, like the one that you thought, apart from the boy, well, he's not a boy, the striker at Ecuador. Other than that, who's impressed you?
Yeah, I've got to go with Kenny's on that Mbappe. I think he's been superb. I watched him the other night, and he's just a bully. And we need a bully. We need a bully like that at Arsenal. Let's be fair. I can't disagree with that at all. I would have said that. Sadly for me, my player that I really wanted was Neymar, but he's cropped, so that's the end of that. And I'll go with you, Kenny, and a few of the guys in the chat here. Mbappe for me.
Yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but he has stepped up so far. Like you said, Kenny, last time he won it, he was a kid. He's not a kid anymore. And it's up to him how far he goes now, isn't it? Because he's in a squad that is pretty decent, one of the favourites to win it. And if they keep their players fit, they've got a chance to win it.
Yeah.
You know, Brazil with Neymar getting injured. I don't know how bad that is, but I think he's definitely missing today. I know that much. I don't know whether he's going to in the other games, but yeah, I see the picture.
I can see if they get to if Brazil gets to the last 16 and they're struggling, it'll come on. I think they're saving for the quarters. That's if they get there. But the only thing with France, there's no midfield there. You know, everything's in place. But in terms of the midfield, in terms of like the thing about it is that against a team that has got a midfield and a team that gets in amongst them, I think that's where you will know more about France. Because at the moment, I say respectfully, Denmark had a game, but Denmark not good enough. Australia was scared of them. It'd be nice to see if France are going to be like when they play a team that's not frightened of them, a team that's actually got a proper midfield. You take Pogba and Kante that midfield, you think, all right, they'll get through, but against a team that can play and actually try and win as well and has the same sort of ambitions, the same sort of attacking flair, it'll be nice to have a look at them.
100%. Got a couple of super chats. Big up to Strasbourg Steve. I've got a video coming out tomorrow on him, mate. So he's not signed a new contract with Mönchengladbach, I think it is. So apparently we're interested. We're interested in everyone, apparently. Keep your eyes out for that.
We always are.
Yeah, we're interested in everyone. Doesn't matter who it is, we're going to buy everyone. It's easy to be a journalist these days, isn't it? Making up transfer stories. But a question for both of you guys. Where is it? If I can find it. From Smokey says, thank you for that, Steve. Appreciate it. Smash the likes up, people. And Kenny and JEZ'S links are in the description of the video as well. Question for both of you. We'll go with you first, JEZ'S. Who's your dark horses to go far?
I've got two, actually. I'm going Ghana and I'm going to go USA. I think the USA will finish and progress because looking at who they could possibly meet, and they, I think, look decent to me. To be honest, it's a total punt. It's like I'm just throwing it out there.
Well,
So
the USA could potentially end up with us in a quarter.
Yeah, they could. And look, let's be fair. They look pretty decent against England. Let's be fair. So they'll have learned a little bit from that. Will Southgate have learned it from that? I don't know. I just think he's far too defensive for my liking. So I'm going Ghana or USA.
What about you, Kenny? You're on mute, mate.
I'll put myself mute. Sorry. Morocco, from what I saw yesterday, and even when in the first game as well, I like the way they play, and they do have an attacking threat. So for me, they'll be a side that I wouldn't be surprised they have a good tournament. The thing about it is that as much as they're a semi-established nation, I look at Portugal and I think then you can't really call them a dark horse, but if you look at their World Cup record, apart from 2006 and 1966, they've been virtually a shambles in the World Cup. But I look at that team and I think, all right, I know Cristiano Ronaldo is getting all the headlines, but I look at that midfield, look at the defence, look at the players, the general ability. You take away Ronaldo, you still got João Felix, you still got Lau from Milan, you still got Falange, you still got some really, really good attacking players where you think, you know what, no one's going to talk about them. But they have. It reminds me of, remember 2016 when they won the competition. No one took them seriously, even in the final against France. And then they won the final. Then after they lifted the cup, you looked at the players. They got just as good a team as France. So for me, it's going to Morocco. Don't know what you're going to get. Portugal, just the most unpredictable side out there. They can either go out of the group stages, meet some implode in the last 16, or go the other way. You just don't know, because I look at all the teams and I just think that if teams believe in themselves and play attacking football and take the handbrakes off, anyone can be beaten in this tournament. The teams that won't do it are the teams that put men behind the ball and show fear. And because you look at it, all the teams that showed fear got their asses handed to them. All the teams that have gone on. Yeah.
Look at England the other day. We showed fear against the USA and ended up with a draw. Right. If we'd had a go, we might have actually done something. My dark horse before the tournament started was Spain. And I was fuming that Germany equalised. What a goal, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Morata came on, I sat there and I said to my pal, I said, the Spanish donkey's coming on. He ain't no fucking good. About 3 minutes later, he scored. But yeah, they got a good team, Spain. But the problem with them is, and I know it's going to sound stupid because they slapped 7 past Costa Rica the other day, is they haven't got that cutting edge up front. They haven't got an elite goal scorer up front. Dani Olmo's good, Asensio's good, but Pedri and Gavi are deep.
Jason Cundy said that. Yeah. Jason Cundy said that on TalkSport. You're right. You are right.
Like they scored 7 against Costa Rica because Costa Rica is shit. Let's be real with it. Sorry if I'm offending any Costa Ricans that happen.
Well, they won yesterday, Lee. They could get to the second round if they somehow fluke against Germany. Yeah, Germany raised their game against Spain because it's Spain.
Germany were crap yesterday, crap, especially first half. But they just find a way, the Germans, didn't they? Yeah. They always find a way of just somehow getting something. And to be fair, I thought Enrique messed his subs up yesterday. Like when he took the players off, I was like, "Oh, why are you taking him off?"
Right, why he won the game, that's why.
And then all of a sudden, the last 20 minutes of that game, you knew the goal was coming, didn't you? You knew they were going to equalise. But yeah, Spain for me. Question for you three. Big up to Mr. B. Big up to everyone in here, man. We've got 350 in here. So make sure you are smashing the likes up. And we have currently got less than 100 likes. So like the thing. Question for you three. Who's going to be the top goal scorer? I'm staying with Messi. I'm going to stick with Messi. I said Argentina would win it. I'm sticking with that. And I'm sticking with Messi being top goal scorer. Jez, what about you? I know you probably had Neymar, didn't you?
I did, and he's cropped, so I can't see that now. So I'm out of the running. So I'm going to switch affinity now. and I'm going to go Mbappe.
I think Kenny's going to say the same, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the guy's unplayable, and the thing is that he plays. He's actually. I know this is probably going controversial as well, but you know you have to look at what you see. I think Giroud has helped him immensely. I think him obviously. When you look at the sort of front three of Mbappe, Benzema, and Griezmann, that's a dream partnership, and that's the sort of thing you have in your PlayStation, or Championship Manager, whatever you call these sort of things. But in reality, all three of them can't play together. Benzema, because it's a case of going in each other's spaces. But when Giroud's in the side, Mbappe and Griezmann just run off him. Giroud's actually a very unselfish player, and you know what you're getting with Giroud. You put that ball in the box, that's his territory. But outside of the box, he holds it up and they run off him. And I think he's going to help Mbappe score a hatful of goals, and he's going to make sure that he takes players out of their reckoning. So yeah, Mbappe should do it, but because France are only going to win the World Cup as if this guy's fit, just as much as Brazil rely on Neymar, and take Mbappe out of that side. They're back in Paris. That's how good this guy is. No matter how he actually gives them a genuine cutting edge. So yeah, I expect him to score 6 or 7 goals. But don't forget Harry Kane. Remember Harry Kane? We always write him off in tournaments. We write him off at the Euros, and he ended up bagging a few goals. So if England go far,
well, we've got Wales tomorrow, so the floodgates may open.
Yeah.
They may open. Why aren't any of you talking about Brazil? Bro, we spoke about Brazil. They probably are the favourites to win it, even without Neymar. Like, let's be honest, they're probably still favourites to win it, them and France. Ideally, I want Messi to win it, but they could potentially, if Spain do a madness, that Spain could get Argentina in a final if it ends up going to plan. But then I'll be like torn, because I've never been in this country when they've won a major tournament. Yeah, so it'll go absolutely nuts, man. I'm here for it. I'm
laughing, Lee. When Spain had their revival under Aragonés, I was actually on holiday because my youngest was only a kid. So when you can have your holidays, you don't have to worry about a kid holiday. So we went to Alcudia, which is on the Balearic Islands, and we went there when Spain beat Italy on penalties in 2008, and we're there for the semi-final. And on the day we left for the final to come back to England, Spain had Germany in the final. So I was there and I wasn't. I was there for the quarter final and the semi-final. But they're mad in Spain. They've got this program. I don't know if you get it out there still, called Podemos, which is like a magazine program out there, and it's just they're all wearing Spanish shirts. You think they're bad here. You think, they have this coming home in England. When I was there in 2008, it was like that. It was mental.
Mate, I can only imagine what it's like if they win a competition, because a friend of mine lives in Sevilla, and when Sevilla won the Europa League in Sevilla at their own ground, mate, that was carnage. Cars with people hanging out the windows with flags, tooting. Like if they win the World Cup, mate, this place is going to erupt. So in a way, I want them to win it. But I also want to see Messi win a World Cup, man. I just want to see him kick on now. He got a great goal the other night. Enzo Fernandez's goal, by the way. Oh my days, what a goal that was! Yeah, unbelievable. And they were under the contact game, really. They were struggling in that game, and then bang, straight in. Yeah, big up Messi. But yeah, it'd be good if it was. Well, listen, I could got 3 choices. I'm English, so obviously I want England to win it, but we got a fucking idiot in charge. And then obviously I want Messi to win it, and then obviously I live in Spain. So yeah, Jez, you got 2, I got 3.
Yeah, but it's going to be down to 1 tomorrow night, isn't it? Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic about this. It's going to be down to 1.
But listen, stranger things have happened, mate. You never know. You never know. Who would have thought? Do you remember when you got to the semi-finals? Wales got to the semi-finals of the Euros, didn't they? Yeah. When was that? 2016.
Yeah,
2016. Who would have thought they would have got to the semis?
But then
saying that Gareth Bale was in the form of his life, wasn't he? So
they had a They had Scott Williams in there then, who was captain, a real decent midfield player. So I can't see it myself. So it'll be an interesting. Apparently, I saw in the chat there. Yes, Gracie and I are definitely doing a watch along tomorrow night. So we'll end up having a row, I'm sure. No, I'm joking, but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Big up Steve again for another donation. He says, "Are you a casual fan of Spain?" 100%, mate. I do you know what? I love Spain, mate. I can't lie. Like, it's literally 24 degrees outside, but I had to close the curtains. The sun was on my face. I've got shorts and t-shirt on. It's nearly December. Mate, watch. I'm not even blagging. I'm gonna show you what it's like outside. Yeah, let's go through the curtains. Yeah, this is what
we're dealing with. Show us.
28th November. 28th of November. Look at that. Beautiful. Got my skinny little legs out.
Unbelievable, isn't
it? Yeah, at night time it's a bit chilly now, but it's not cold. It's still like, might just have to put a hoodie on every now and again.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad here at the moment. It's quite mild. It's quite for November. You know, when it's quite mild. Last week was freezing, but I think yesterday and today it was being quite mild. You can go out. You don't have to wear your little burglar gloves and everything. So I feel well, yeah. You know your fingerless gloves.
You always have them, didn't you?
I have them, and I got, you know, that's my sort of football uniform, especially Tottenham away. You know, like the flat cap, the burglar gloves, and the ski mask. Yeah, but you know, going back to Wales, I think if you look at Wales, I think Wales are kind of overachieved by getting into the World Cup and the Euro 2021. Because you think about it, Bale hardly ever plays. He plays in. He wasn't playing much for Real Madrid, and he went on loan at Spurs, and now he's playing American football, where again he doesn't play every game. To the extent he's just gone there to get him fit for the World Cup. Ramsey isn't a regular for regular. You know, last time he was at Rangers, you know, I don't know if they retained him. He's struggling for games. You've got a lot. The goalkeeper situation. Wayne Hennessy is a number 2. Is he number 2 at Palace? Is he at Palace?
I think
number 3 at Palace.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ward. It was Cash Michael's number 2, but he's elevated number 1.
Most of their players play for like MK Dons and teams like that. Do you know
Daniel James can't get a game for Leeds. Can't get a game for Fulham. He has to come off the bench. And you've got Ampadu as well. He's on loan. So all these players.
He's had a fall from grace, that lad, didn't he? Do you remember when he was at Chelsea and everyone was raving that he was going to be the next John Terry in that?
He had a good game. He had a good game against the USA. He wasn't that bad against Iran. But the thing is that the thing with Welsh football is that until they start getting a lot of youngsters in their academies and these youngsters start playing for Premiership clubs, then any qualifications for major tournaments is going to be an overachievement. It's the same with Northern Ireland, Scotland to a certain extent. And I was talking to an Australian guy, and there was a time when Australian football was strong, when they were producing loads of players, and yet they're struggling. I think that's the thing. Thing from Welsh football is money's got to be put into like the academies, and you've got to get more Welshmen into the Premiership clubs and get the scouts coming. I'm sure they're sending boys over, but the Premiership has got a lot to answer for when it comes to like teams like Wales, to the extent that they're not just going for these kids; they're going for like foreigners, which is nothing wrong with that.
It's still the fact that in South Wales, predominantly where sport is in Wales, apart from Wrexham, etc., it's rugby.
Yeah, that's it.
He was a little kid, and I was down in South Wales last year visiting some family, and I was chatting to my cousin down there, who's an avid Cardiff City fan, and I said to him, you know, what's the situation, this, that, and the other, and he said, well, we went out for a couple of beers, and you go past schools in, you know, Cardiff, Newport, down that area, and it's still predominantly rugby pitches and maybe 2 football pitches. But you might have a football ground that's got 4 rugby pitches. And that's how it's been for generations and generations.
So I suppose, because there have been times when
I can't see it changing anytime soon, to be fair.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think it's a shame because, you know, they did really well to get this tournament. But the thing about it is that I say it respectfully because of the careers both of them made. But I think you can carry one player, one superstar, but when you're carrying two superstars, it's too much of an ask against high energy teams. You know, Iran were really high energy. The USA were really high energy. They did well to get a point, Wales. You know, the only Wales' best chance of anything tomorrow. Under no circumstances must they leave Kiefer Moore out of that team. Kiefer Moore has to play, mate, because he brings team players into it. But yeah, I see what you mean. You know, rugby is the be all and end all of Welsh life, and rightly so. They've produced some really great superstars of the egg shaped ball game.
Not lately.
Mate, it's mad because over here, like, especially where I live, it's like tennis courts everywhere. Literally hundreds of tennis courts around here. Yeah, and I suppose that's probably because of Rafa Nadal. Everyone wanted to be Rafa Nadal 10 years ago, didn't they? Even now. Yeah, so there's tennis court. There's one directly opposite. There's one over there. There's one around the corner. There's another one up there. Like in the space of about 5 kilometers, I've probably got about 25 tennis courts. Like we can just go to like tennis club and just go there and play tennis all day. Yeah, but then they have in some urbanizations here, they have tennis courts in the middle, like in the urbanizations. So you can just, like, if you live in the block, you can just go and open the gates and go and have a round of game of tennis with your pals and that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's mad. But there's loads of football pitches here as well. Like the little cage pitches, like futsal, like little cage ones. Yes, but outdoors, obviously. But yeah, fuck playing tennis in that weather. You'd be knackered. This is hard work anyway, let alone doing it in this heat. Flipping hell. Before we wrap this up, people, make sure you smash the likes up and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you subscribe to JEZ'S channel, Arsenal History and More. That link's in the description, along with Kenny Ken 1972's Instagram page. Jez, what you got coming up?
Well, on Gracie May's channel tomorrow night. I'm doing a watch along England-Wales. Wednesday night, Kenny, you around for doing a podcast at 5:30?
I'll be happy to. You know what I mean? Because basically, what's that? I mean, Sky, Open Reach, sort yourselves out. I've got no internet. I'm doing it off me 4G, working off me 4G, and I'm working off doing this on my 4G. Mind you, the way Lee describes my internet, I've probably got a stronger 4G than I had internet after my.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah, you wouldn't know the difference, but yeah, that's you know what I've got planned. Obviously, doing something with you, but it's just watching as much football as I can, really, because you know, I've been calling for a midwinter break because Arsenal. I know you guys miss Arsenal, I get it, but you know, from a sort of selfish perspective, going to games, coming back, going to games, which I love doing, but emotionally and mentally and physically, I'm thinking
a break.
I could do a break from that. Right, you know, recharge my batteries for the Boxing Day. At least, and you know my feelings on the Christmas program. I want it back. I want it stopped. I want it banned. I get why everyone wants it because it's a tradition. It's good for armchair fans. You know, get out of bed. You know, instead of watching Oliver Twist or Tom Thumb or The Sound of Music again, you can
the Grinch
and you've got
Miracle on Wall Street. Same old
or put the Amazon on, and you've got a football match.
There's only one Christmas film that's worth watching, and that is Home Alone. The rest are all crap.
But you don't have to, or you don't have to watch the James Bond film you've seen 10 times over Christmas Day. We all know the Christmas. It's either Tom Thumb, The Sound of Music, you know, Home Alone, as you say, or maybe, Scrooge. Scrooge is another one, isn't it?
I love Scrooge. I love it.
Yeah. Love it. Do you know what's crazy? Is they actually charge to watch Home Alone now, unless it's on terrestrial TV. Yeah, if you have Sky, you have to go on and buy Home Alone. You can't just watch it for free. Yeah, it's not on Sky Movies for free anymore. You have to buy it. Yeah, that's a
lot in it.
Oh, it's a rip-off, mate. Like the first and second ones are the only two worth watching. The rest are crap.
Yeah, I didn't realise. I only watched 2 of them.
Mate, I think there's about 5 now. I think there's 5. 4 or 5. Yeah. They changed the kid. They changed it. It wasn't Macaulay Culkin in one of them. Yeah, and I think that was the 3rd one. They changed him. It was like, yeah, fuck that, I ain't watching that. The second one's better than the first one, though. I think
Donald Trump in it, isn't he? Donald Trump.
Yeah, Trump's in it. Yeah, he is. Yeah, them films are class, man. Proper films. But yeah, man, jokes. But listen,
I've had my own way, and we had no football on Christmas Day, the 28th, and New Year's Day. You'll be watching all the films, having a bit of a break. People will be saving money. Trains, people don't have to get the trains down to football. You know, don't piss off your wife don't annoy your wife and kids by putting football before a nice little break. People, you might be able to go on holiday, go abroad for Christmas.
No. I've
just googled Home Alone films here. They brought a Home Alone film out called Home Sweet Home Alone last year.
What? Really?
So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of them.
No, I've only seen 3.
I've seen 3, but they changed the kid after the first 2.
Yeah.
It has to be Macaulay Culkin, but you can't get him in there anymore. He's too old now.
You know what's going to happen next? They're going to have a remake of the Sound of Music. I mean, that's something we used to always see at Christmas.
Mate, it's like them fucking Fast and Furious films. It's like after you've seen 2, you don't need anymore. Like, and I think they're on fucking like 9 now. Like, who gives a shit?
I don't know. It's a franchise, isn't it? You know, I said if you're making money, why don't you keep on making money out of all these films? But at Christmas, you know, I understand where fans are coming from. You know, they do like to get up the next day if they live local to go to a game, and they do like to have like the video printer or Sky, and they just have a game to watch. I get it, I do get it, but I just think that in terms of like fans who go to games, and it don't help them, and I think that in terms of the amount of games we're playing I haven't since Project Restart. I haven't noticed any rest that the players have had, and I don't see them getting a rest anytime soon. I know they're on a lot of money, but you're going to see a lot of accidents, I think, if we carry on like this with the scheduling of the games.
Yeah,
mate. Yeah, it's crazy. Do you remember when? Very quickly, do you remember? Go on, Jez. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, you talked about very quickly. You talked about films. It's like Jaws, iconic film. I watched that when I was 14 at the cinema. Yeah, great film. And then they carry on, and then they have that stupid one, Jaws: The Revenge, where they're in fucking Bermuda or somewhere, and this white shark follows the family. I mean, are you sure about that? Really? I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, it's like having a tea bag and trying to make 10 cups of tea out of one tea bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talk about rinse it. Jesus, dear God.
Before we go,
it's like Taken. There's only so many times that daughter can get taken. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I would find you and I will kill you, mate. How many times is his daughter getting kidnapped? Like, come on, mate, sort it out.
They do have Death in Paradise, where there's a murder every week, isn't it? But one thing we need to look out for, that's something that we're hoping happens at the World Cup, and that's if Granit Xhaka sings for the Swiss national anthem, because first 2 games he never sings for the national anthem. Everyone else is belting it out, and he's a captain. So yeah, that's
how you guys get off and watch that thing, because that kicks off in literally 2 minutes.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
I'm going to go and record this video about Marcus Thuram being linked to Arsenal. So that'll be dropping at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then no show with Rants tomorrow. He's still in New York. So I'll probably do a live Q&A, to be honest. I'm on with Terry.
How is Terry? How's his health and everything?
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's a bit better, man. Yeah, he's a bit better. He's not had any funny turns yet, as far as I know. But yeah, The Great Escape, that's always on at Christmas, isn't it? Fucking
classic.
I'm going out for Christmas dinner this year, mate. I'm not cooking this year. I've had enough. I'm going to go out for Christmas dinner. In fact, I need to book that. So I'm going. Laters. Adios. Big up to both of you guys. Big up to everyone in the chat, man. Appreciate it. Big up to everyone watching on playback as well. We're out of here. Laters. Southgate out.
Come on, Wales.